Hey folks, welcome back. Today's topic that I want to dive into is around the setup I believe you need to have when you're practicing. And the reason why I'm dropping this video now is it's a time of the year where a lot of people have decided that the 2024 golf season's coming up and they want to start working on their game. But oftentimes I see people forget to set up a simple workstation that can make sure that we can work on our alignment, our ball position, our face angle, and even our start line. So I'm going to walk through how we can do that in 4 alignment rods in just a few minutes. Let's dive into it. So the thing that's common for most people is that they don't set up any alignment rods. They don't think they need to. But when we're talking about practicing, especially if we're trying to develop our golf swing or work on a specific skill, there's some variables we don't want fluctuating a ton. And one of them, especially in block practice, is our alignment and our ball position and where we're aiming. So the first thing that I have set up here is our very standard, which I recommend for all of my players and all of their practice, is this basic tee that we have. The yellow rod here is for my toe line, which is to give me a visual to know relative to my target that I'm not setting up with toes that are really open or that I'm not setting up with toes that are really closed. Now the thing that I'll say is yes, depending on who you are, you may need to set up with a slightly closed or a slightly open stance, but for the sake of this video, I'm always liking to work off of neutral. So the orange alignment rod is for toe line. The green alignment rod, which goes between my feet, is for ball position. I know that's something that is very basic, but ball position, especially if we're very inconsistent with it, that affects ball flight, that affects contact, that affects distance, and our ability to control our distance. So we have to make sure that our ball's in the same spot every time. So that's why we have that tee set up. That's the basic one. Hey, here's a little secret. Every week I send an email on Thursday mornings that gives you 3 things. It gives you 1 golf tip, it gives you 1 quote or stat, and gives you 1 little extra to help you play better golf and practice more effectively. To sign up, there's a link in my description. Make sure you get signed up because on Thursday morning, the next one's coming. The next 2 and the main goal of this video today is to talk more about the actual golf ball itself. A lot of players will consider where their body and where their ball position is set up, but then what they do after that plays a really big role. Where's that club face pointing? And where do we want this ball to start? Now, I know when we're outside, it's a little bit different because we get to see the entire ball flight. I know here that we have a launch monitor as well. But I want to build a station that even if you're in your garage and you don't have tech, something that you can still work on and avoid a couple crucial mistakes. Because the biggest mistake that I see is a player will set this part up and they're hitting indoors into a net with no tech or with tech, and they're not paying enough attention to where the ball is starting. And then as a result, they get on the golf course after putting in a winter's worth of work and they're pissed off about where the ball is starting because they didn't consider it in their off-season training. So this orange rod is currently running parallel to my yellow rod. And the goal of the orange rod is to give me something to set up my club face to so that I know that my club face is square to my target. Now, for a lot of players, we tend to struggle with sometimes you set up with that club face open, sometimes set up with it closed, even if we have the perfect grip. So that's why when I come into this golf shot, once I grip that club, I'm putting that club face first, and I want to make sure that it's square to that orange rod. And now I can build my stance. So we've got toe line, we've got ball position, and we've got start line. Now we have this one here, and for a lot of you, I don't see this one set up very often. Because I know sometimes, depending on your environment, it's not something that you can always set up, but I believe it's extremely important because where we're looking influences that golf shot a lot. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I just have a quick favor to ask. Can you make sure that you subscribe to this channel? Always like my videos, and make sure you hit that little bell to make sure that you get notifications when I drop more videos just like this. And as always, if you ever have any questions, please post them in the comments down below. I respond to every comment. Now back to your video. And let's say I'm going to talk about players that their ball starts left and they play a slice or they play a pull slice or a hook or whatever it may be. But let's use the example of the ball starting left of their target. Oftentimes what happens is because since they're set up from your vantage point to the left of the ball, they are looking to the left of the ball. Because right now, if I was to just turn my head, my eyes are looking here. The reason why I have this visual here is to make sure that I'm looking in the right spot. The shot that I have up on the screen for me is a common miss. And for me, that miss is left of my target. And oftentimes, especially when I'm indoors, the reason why is because my ball starts too far left. It could be because the club face is close at setup. It could be because where I'm looking. So that's why I'm correcting both of those. So now as I come through this shot, what I've done from down the line, if I hit a good shot, I would like this ball to hit the screen somewhere between this alignment rod and that mouse cursor. Somewhere in that range there. Yes, I have a more picky spot, but for the sake of this video, I have a window there that I want to hit this shot through. So now what I have as I go through my setup, I have a target of where I'm looking. And now for me, what happens is it actually feels like I'm looking a lot more right than I usually do. Go figure. Because I know that my miss is I'm often looking too far left and my ball starts left. So this ultimate workstation for you is built around 4 alignment rods. Our toe line, our ball position, our club face, and our start line. Now, as I'm going to go through and I'm going to hit a shot now, the goal for me is if I do this correctly, this ball should hit the screen to the right of that orange rod. If you're a player that your ball starts too far to the right, you would move this over to the other side and you'd say, okay, I just want to make sure that my ball starts left of that. The reason why this is important is I see a lot of times in video, players will send me video and ask me how their swing looks and they don't have this set up. And let's say this is where they want the ball to start, and I'm seeing the ball hit the screen in all kinds of different spots, and they're not considering that. That's what I hope is the biggest takeaway for you in this video. This is level 1. This is the basic stuff you should be doing every single time. I guess what we'll call that next level is paying better attention to where your club face is pointing, and then also where you're looking. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments down below. But this has been your ultimate setup toolkit, especially for when you're training indoors. Thanks for stopping by as always. Have a great day.